Yes, guys, perfect hair, perfect look. Now, guys, it's very important you validate yourself, okay? Sometimes people will say you're not a good performer. Sometimes people will say you're not good. Sometimes people will say you aren't what you should be, whatever. But you have to believe in yourself, right? Because I mean, if you're making videos and you're not getting as many subscribers, or you're doing this or you're doing that, or you've been banned before and you know that channel was going to get a lot of subscribers, then you know yourself you're good, right? So you don't need other people's, you know, um, you don't need other people's, what's it called? How do you say that? Approval, right? You don't need other people's approval, right? And sometimes it literally can take 9 years, 10 years to become famous, right? You don't have to feel like it's going to happen overnight. It could happen overnight. It might, but it might not, right? So don't feel like you have to really worry too much about when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. Just know that if it's happened before when you got banned, or it's happened, or you know, right? You kind of know, right? Some people are kind of like tone deaf to their success, right? They think they'll be successful, and they really won't. But most people know how successful they'll become, right? You can just sort of tell. Maybe you've been told you're good looking by a lot of people, or you've dated a lot, or whatever, right? But even still, you still might not know, because some people that are very good looking or very talented get told negative things all the time, because people just, like, when you walk into a room, right, and you're like super gorgeous, right? You have to remember that the reaction isn't always that people say you're gorgeous, right? Because gorgeous people don't usually say you're gorgeous unless they want to date you. And people that aren't gorgeous don't usually say that. Not always, sometimes they do, but they don't always say that, because there might be, like, imagine being like the most gorgeous person in like the world, and you go in a room in your own city, right? I mean, most people are very nice to me. Nobody really causes issues for me, but you know what I mean? Like, you're the most gorgeous person in the world, and then you're in your city and you walk into a room, right? If there's gorgeous people there, they might be like, wow, whatever, right? Or they don't say anything, right? Most of the time, gorgeous people, unless they're involved with you in some way, won't say anything, right? And then people that aren't gorgeous are going to be like, oh my God, they might react and say you're gorgeous, but most of the time they're just like, they get a quick reaction like, oh my God, this person's way more gorgeous than me. I gotta start saying something negative, right? Or it just automatically hits them. They're like, oh my God, this person's so gorgeous. What am I gonna do, right? So you have to remember that even though you think people would be like, when I first started my channel, I thought everybody was gonna be like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. My goodness, you're so good, right? I didn't realize that people would say negative things, right? I just assumed everybody would be like, wow, look at you, wow. But I hadn't really realized that there are people that are like upset by that and that would say negative things. Even though it's obvious when you look around the room, most people are going to be uncomfortable with it. But I just, for some reason, I was naive. I was like, well, I'm going to go out there and make my videos and do my thing and see what happens, right? I didn't really realize that people would say negative things. But now nobody really says negative things. They're very nice people. But I think, for the most part, you just feel like you just get shocked by that, because I was like, well, I'm so good. How can anybody say anything bad about me, right? Anyway, thank you guys. Bye now.